host, Joe Jurek, and welcome back to Real Estate Investing Adventures. Why? Because real estate is fun and it should always be an adventure. Who the heck am I? I'm a real estate investor that has the ability to travel all over the country and work with people just like you, trying to get started in real estate or take their real estate investing to the next level. In this video, I'm going to talk about yet another way to do a no money down deal. Now, as I travel the country, a lot of people tell me, Joe, I'm just getting started, or I don't have a lot of money to work with. Is there something that I can do that may require limited funds that I can get started with real estate investing? Now, there are a variety of strategies. If you haven't done wholesaling yet, check out my wholesaling playlist because there's a lot of good tips on doing wholesale type of deals that require limited or no money to do those. But in this series, I'm giving you other ideas, other ways that we can consider doing no money down deals. Now, one of the keys with this topic, we're going to talk about owner financing. Now, with owner financing, the owner plays the role of the bank. They hold the paper. And in order to find an owner that might be motivated, we may have to look in markets where the properties aren't moving as quickly, or the owner is just very, very motivated due to a situation like a job loss, a job relocation. Maybe they have rental properties and they're getting a little bit older and they don't want to hang on to those properties. I remember a few years back, I was working with clients out in southern Georgia, and we went to go look at a property that they had an interest in, and right next door it said for sale by owner. We went ahead and called on that sign, and the lady said she'd come out later that afternoon to show the property. And she was a little bit older, kind of up there in age, and said she enjoyed being a landlord for a number of years, but she was at a point where she couldn't handle all the properties anymore because it was just becoming too much for her. She said she had probably 5 or 6 other properties she was going to sell, but she was doing them kind of one at a time to not be overwhelmed. As we talked to her, she was very friendly. We were friendly. We were laughing and joking and talking about real estate, and we kind of built rapport with her. And she had basically said, you know, if I found the right buyer, I might even be open to doing owner financing just because these units are empty and I just can't handle doing them anymore. So here's the thing I want to tell you. Are there people out there right now that would love to get out of a property and might do owner financing? I think there are. The key thing is they have to be motivated due to the current market or their situation that they just don't want to do the rental property anymore. So will it take a lot of phone calls? Yes. Will it take time and effort? Yes. But I want to give you some additional tips when you go out and talk with the for sale by owners. Number one, you have to get them to like you. You have to establish rapport with them. If they don't like you for some reason, if you come across as a little bit too arrogant or aggressive, it may turn them off immediately and they don't want to sell their property to you at any price. But if they like you, I think they'll go ahead and work with you. Part of the benefit of dealing directly with the owner, you can understand exactly what they may need to get out of the property and why they are selling the property. This will give you a better indication possibly of how motivated they may be. Sometimes when people find other people that they can talk to, they often will tell you too much or more than they should have because they view you as being pretty friendly, which I know you will be. When they talk about pricing, the cliche you can use is, will you be flexible on terms if you can get close to your price or full price on the property? Everybody loves the idea of sometimes getting full price on the property. So would you be flexible on your terms if we can get you the price you're looking for? It's just a way to feel out the seller and see maybe how motivated they may be and how open they might be to creative financing. Gotta love the little airplanes going over. That's what I love about Florida, a lot of little planes. But in any event, hopefully they don't drown me out too much. But in any event, getting back to the for sale by owner, in my other videos we've talked about various ways to find for sale by owners. You could do bandit signs, you could go on Craigslist, You could drive neighborhoods, you can have bird dogs, you can network with other wholesalers. There's a variety of ways to find deals out there for sale by owner. But you're not only looking for sale by owner, they have to be motivated and open to be willing to carry financing. Now, everything is negotiable, so I would make sure that if you can give them what they want, they should be open and reciprocate and give you, terms. So if you need them to do owner financing for a limited time, like 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, see what they would be willing to do. And at that point, you'd have an exit strategy to either cash them out, or maybe at that point you might want to sell the property. But here's the other best advice I can give you. Don't try to do this all on your own with all the paperwork, especially if you've never ever done it before. You're going to need some people from a power team. And that's why in my prior videos, I talk about power team. There's even a playlist. But in regards to the power team, a good attorney would be helpful to draft up the necessary paperwork, even if they're doing owner financing, and to record that they are selling you the property, but they're carrying the financing on it. A good title company, is going to be needed. If the attorney doesn't want to handle the closing, a title company can, but in most cases, the attorney could also handle the closing for you and probably would. Make sure you ask the attorney about that. If you're not sure of the house and the condition, it's a good idea to get a home inspection done. So having a good home inspector on your power team will make a difference. And then really an exit strategy. If you get the house, I presume you're going to go ahead and do a rental property. So are you going to manage that property yourself, or are you going to get another member of a power team called a property manager, and they will help manage it for you, especially if you're looking out of your given area or out of state. A lot of people have a desire to look in other areas, which is fine. You just have to know the area. Now, the other golden nugget I would tell you is before you move into purchasing the property, make sure you fully understand if there's any repairs that are needed, and is it your responsibility probably then to do them once you buy the property and have owner financing. So you may need a little bit of cash reserves in the future as you're collecting rents. The other thing would be, how soon do you have to get them the payment, and how much the payment would be, and how much would the property rent out for. A good property manager will tell you what the property could rent out for. So then you want to look at cash flow. Preferably, you'd want to have cash left over every month, because that would be positive cash flow. If you were not collecting in as much rent revenue and had more expenses, it'd be negative cash flow. And in Florida, if you have to feed that house, we call that like buying an alligator, something you got to feed every month, which you don't want to do. So my best advice would be to know your numbers and confirm your numbers before you move through with the deal. Don't just do it because you're excited about it, they're willing to do owner financing, and later you find out maybe it wasn't the best neighborhood or the best area, or maybe you find out that the rent you thought you could get wasn't really what you could actually get, once you looked into it. So as we explore no money down deals, I have a few other videos out there in this series, in this playlist, that you can watch just to give you various ideas. I'm going to be continuing to add, again, no money down videos to my overall series. There's various ways that you can do it, and the biggest thing is really getting creative. So there's nothing wrong with, if you have ideas or you want to try things, I highly encourage you to try ideas and put it out there. The worst thing they can possibly say is no, and if you can kind of give them some thought that, hey, if I can move my property, maybe I'll go ahead and do this. But the key is persistency. Don't give up. Do a little bit each week to try to find good properties and to make offers. And sooner or later, you're going to find a deal that'll work for you, and that'll be your first, maybe no money down deal under your belt, and then would lead you to other deals. So get out there, make those dreams a reality. Take care, believe and achieve. Bye-bye.
Do it now. Believe and achieve. Take care. Yeah!